What's up guys, it's Diego from MTS, and today I'm going to be showing you how to install our Can-Am Maverick R limit strap kit. So for the first part of the install, we're obviously going to need to get the car up. So I'm going to go ahead and put this under here. Remember, you want your wood on top of the jack too, just to get the vehicle off the ground enough. And you want to make sure you're lifting it from a safe point. You don't want the vehicle falling as you work on it. So typically right in between the two control arms and you'll be just fine. We're gonna get it up until the wheels are hovering off the ground. And as well, you're also gonna wanna put the car in neutral. Don't wanna forget that, just so the car doesn't stay in its spot. So as you jack it up, it's able to roll freely, so you don't have any problems with that. And so right around there, I think is good. So the next step, we're gonna come over here. We're gonna grab our 1/2 inch impact and our 21 socket. We're gonna come over here. And so on the Maverick R, there is no nut on the back side of the bottom bolt. So it's threaded into the arm. So what we're gonna do is just take the impact to it and go ahead and take that sucker out. So the next step in the process is gonna be removing this little hood cover. What you're gonna do is go ahead and pull on the back. It's gonna pop up like that. Same with the other side, and pull down. You're gonna go ahead and take the upper bolt out. So now that we have both our shocks off, we're ready to install our limit strap kit. And so for the first bit, we're gonna grab our upper bolts, and we're gonna grab our front limit strap as well. We'll go ahead and unscrew this. I'm gonna take it apart and keep the washer and bolt on it. I'm gonna put the limit strap on. Ooh. Go ahead and add the spacer. And then we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna go ahead and feed this through the arm. Make sure you get it through the arm as close to the shock body as possible. Bring it up. You're gonna wanna align the bolt with the shock. You're gonna have to do some fiddling too to get it in, but right there, I'm gonna go ahead and push it in. And that's our first one. So now we're ready to go ahead and tighten our bolts. And as I forgot to in the beginning, I forgot to mention you do need an extension to tighten this so it clears. So now we're ready to go ahead and put our bottom bolts in, and it's gonna go ahead and look like this. It's gonna be this long 14 mil bolt with this little bracket right here. You're gonna see threads on the inside right here. You want this to go ahead and face the arm. Just like that. And remember, you want your bracket to go ahead and be aligned with your shock. So face the same direction as your shock is. And just a little note, if you do have the Smart Shocks edition, you're gonna wanna go ahead and turn the car on to activate them, allowing the car to settle properly. Now that we have the car lowered and at the proper ride height, we're gonna go ahead and install the lower limit strap bolts. So what we're gonna do, make sure it lines up. We're gonna grab Loctite. I do recommend that you put Loctite on these. You're just gonna wanna put it on the ends of this. That should be good. Hold the limit strap in there, make sure it's straight and not twisted. Line it up and start to hand thread it, just so you don't cross thread it. Once we get there, we're going to want to use an 11 mil Allen key to go ahead and finish tightening it up. And as as you drive, you'll notice as I try tightening it, this tab is gonna move a little bit. As you drive, it's gonna go ahead and straighten it out for you, so you don't need to worry about that. Now, as you can see, we're all done with the front portion of the limit straps, and now we're gonna go ahead and get to the rear. Let's show you how to do that. We're gonna go ahead and jack the car up. So for the first step on the rear portion of the limit strap kit, we're gonna go ahead and remove the upper portion of the sway bar links. And what we're gonna need for that is a 3/8 impact and an 18 socket. And put it right here and just apply some pressure on the back of it, and it should just come off. Next, we're gonna go ahead and remove the lower bolts to the shock, and for that, we're gonna need a 21 socket and a 1/2 inch impact and a 21 wrench. Now that we have the lower bolts removed from these shocks, we're gonna go ahead and do the upper ones, but in order to do that, we gotta remove some plastic up top, and for that, we're gonna need a 3/8 impact with a T30 bit, a flathead, and the picks that I mentioned earlier. So the first step of this process with removing this, we're gonna go ahead and pull these little push pins out. There's gonna be another one right here, and then there's gonna be one up here. And then where the torque 30 comes in play, it's gonna be these little torque bits right there and here. And in order to move these, you wanna get your flathead or pick and just pry it behind it and go ahead and pop it out. And now that we have the plastic bits removed, we're able to access the upper bolts, and for that we're going to use a 1/2 inch ratchet with a 21 and a 21 wrench. Now that we have the upper bolts out, we're going to go ahead and put in the limit strap hardware. So for this, you're going to have the threads face out. So I'm going to grab the shock, line it up, push it through, and you don't want to push the bolt all the way through, just for clearance purposes. Then you're going to grab the spacer, and it's going to slide on like this. So like I said, not all the way on, slide your spacer down, and then put your finger in the back, hold your spacer, and go ahead and push the bolt the rest of the way through. Then you're going to grab your limit strap, feed that down through, and put it on the bolt. And then same as all the others, washer, then nut. Now that we have our upper bolts tightened, we're gonna go ahead and put our plastics back on. Now that we have the upper ones on, we're gonna go ahead and do the lowers. And for this portion, you're gonna go ahead and take the spacer off, and you're gonna put the bolt in with the threads facing out, sorry. Put it right here, make sure the shock's lined up. Put that through. You're gonna put your spacer on. And I like to just put my washer and nut on right now because you're not gonna be able to put the limit strap on because the car is fully extended. So you're gonna have to lower it before that part comes into play. So now that we have the plastics reinstalled and everything's tightened up, we're able to go ahead and lower the vehicle now. Now that the car is settled and at the proper ride height, we're gonna go ahead and tighten the bottom portion of the limit strap. And in order to do that, we're gonna grab our 1/2 inch, our 12 mil, and our 22 wrench. So go ahead and take your nut off, washer as well. Spacer stays there, limit strap, washer, and nut. Now that we got the bottom portion of our limit straps tight, we're able to reconnect the sway bar links and tighten those up. That will be the last step. So before you guys head out and have a blast with this new limit strap kit, you want to go ahead and install your Velcro straps. You want to prevent your straps from swinging out and just rubbing against anything unnecessary. And so you typically want to do it a little lower. You don't want to do it up here somewhere. So bring that down, just like that. And then you're gonna work your way around and do it to all four. right guys, well, that's gonna wrap up our Maverick R limit strap install video. We're gonna have a lot more parts coming out very soon. We'd love for you guys to try it out. Have a good one, guys.